Incredible finds made underground. Ancient underground cult. In 2017, Turkish authorities foiled a plot to loot an archaeological site. The site was discovered by locals underneath the house in Bozburg. After police busted up the criminals who had been trying to rob the place, they alerted scientists from the nearby archaeological museum. When archaeologists arrived on the scene, they were surprised to discover a narrow opening beneath the house leading to an underground chamber over 100 feet long. The chamber led to a large gallery filled with ancient artwork dating back about 2,700 years. This was the underground religious complex of an ancient fertility cult. Life beneath Jerusalem. Archaeologists discovered underground living spaces near Jerusalem's Western Wall. The ancient subterranean complex was used in the Second Temple era of Jerusalem prior to the Roman conquest that occurred in 70 AD. The complex isn't particularly big. It's a small subterranean system of 3 rooms, each one meticulously chiseled by hand out of the solid bedrock. Long before the Romans destroyed Jerusalem, someone carved their own home out of the rock. The Smiling Sphinx. The artifacts were discovered in the desert temple of Dendera, 280 miles from Cairo. Because it appears to be smiling, this sphinx has proven to be a surprisingly unique artifact. Archaeologists called it the Smiling Sphinx and believe its human-like features belonged to Roman Emperor Claudius, who ruled Rome between 41 and 54 AD during the empire's push into North Africa. This Smiling Sphinx is much smaller than the one that stands before the Great Pyramids of Giza. It stands only a few feet tall and was discovered buried beneath the desert sand outside the temple. It was discovered while researchers were clearing out a water storage basin. The Sphinx statue appears to have been dumped inside the basin over 2,000 years ago, then covered as the pit gradually filled with dirt and sand. The Temple of Fire. Archaeologists in Peru discovered an underground temple on the outskirts of Lima, right at the edge of the modern capital city. Was a temple estimated to be 5,000 years old. According to the Ministry of Cultures, the temple could be one of the oldest ever discovered in the Americas. It was discovered at En Panaceo Archaeological Complex. It's completely different from all local ruins. It appears to be similar to temples found on Peru's north coast or high in the Andes. Dragon's Eye Cave. All we know is that it's deep in West Lancashire, England, and that it can only be accessed through a small window in the floor. This entrance, however, is guarded by a group of determined urban explorers, and local residents desire on keeping people out. The cave itself is thought to have formed hundreds of years ago from an old mine shaft. The pattern on the cave's roof, which resembles a massive dragon's eye, is what makes it so impressive. When the light hits it just right, the spherical roof glints yellow like the eye of a great dragon. It's something that can only be seen in person and in the Forbidden Cavern. Amphu Cave. The Marble Mountains of Vietnam are a popular tourist attraction within Da Nang's city limits, and they are truly impressive to see. They are made up of 5 massive marble mounds that used to be mined by sculptors to make Buddhist statues. The marble was used by these sculptors to create artifacts, which they then sold in the surrounding villages. And, despite the fact that most marble is now imported from China, the mountains remain where they have been for centuries. Amphu Cave is located within the largest and most famous of the Marble Mountains, known as Chusan. King Mein Mang named the cave after it was discovered in the 19th century. Beneath the Bog. Cadderfield is an archaeological site in Ireland even older than the Egyptian pyramids. On one side of the site, there is a steep drop-off and some dramatic cliffs into the Atlantic Ocean, while on the other, there are rolling green hills of the Irish countryside. It's about 5 square miles of bogland between Valley Castle and Belmullet. It looks empty to the untrained eye but has been the source of some seriously impressive archaeological discoveries. Researchers have excavated a large number of lost treasures from the boggy ground here. Martian bacteria. Scientists found that bacteria can live from 280 million years beneath the Martian's surface. The researchers discovered that the bacterium Deinococcus, also known as radiodeodorants, is extremely resistant to radiation. Scientists have discovered the bacterium living in nuclear reactors on our own planet. Michael Daly from the Uniformed Services University in Maryland said that the bacterium becomes phenomenally radiation resistant in Mars's cold environment.